Yeah, so for me, again, this is a chart where it just continues to chop sideways. Now, this could be consolidation. That's very possible, maybe even bullish consolidation. My issue still is that we still have not cleared this area here. So essentially, from the last time we talked, it was, can we get above 30,000 and can we stay above 30,000? As of now, we haven't. What we've been doing is basically playing pinball with this support here at around 26.7 and around 28.7. So look at how you're just jumping back and forth. And again, to me, this is just dead markets right now. I mean, there's not a lot going on. We're still waiting for that next bigger move to occur. And I think that's what's going to, be the determining factor here.
Both Bitcoin and Ether are opening the Asia Business Day fairly flat, with Bitcoin flat at $28,303 and Ether up 1.6% to $1,813. Stock markets in Asia are in the green, with the Nikkei 225 opening at 1%. Bitcoin is likely dormant and awaiting major economic news for its next move because of low liquidity. As Kaiko noted earlier this week, Bitcoin trading is at its lowest level in 8 months after Binance reintroduced trading fees. This is on top of the existing liquidity woes Bitcoin currently faces as fiat pipelines dry up. Looking ahead to the next week, there are a number of economic events that should spur traders' interest. Hello and welcome to Money Talks. In today's video, founder and chief market strategist at InTheMoneyStocks.com and verified crypto investing, Gareth Soloway updates about Bitcoin's current market standing and his outlook for Bitcoin in 2023. Has crypto really finally truly reached its breakthrough moment? Stefan Rust, a crypto investor and CEO of data aggregator Truflation, suggested that traditional finance may be approaching a tipping point amid multiple bank failures in the US and near meltdowns at 2 banking giants in Switzerland and Germany, and that investor worries lie at the root of this week's surge in crypto prices. It seems people are realizing that the banking crisis isn't really over, and given all the noise out there, a lot of people are starting to question the approach that they're taking to their savings and wealth management, Rust wrote. I think many technopreneurs and SVB clients will move some of their savings into crypto, he added. Indeed, there already seems to be a demand to move some of this across into Bitcoin and Ether on-chain, which could explain some of the recent price rises, especially as former SVB clients are receiving their savings back from the FDIC right now.
Yeah, so I think for me, number one, just a few days ago, we tested this 26,700 level, and it actually held. So I think that's a positive. You want to see that hold. You don't want to see a break of that consolidation pattern. So I guess for me, it's looking at this and saying, okay, guys, on the upside potential, I actually am leaning towards this maybe making another move up here to the 30,000 level. In addition, I think we have to look at the 30,000 as being a very psychologically important level for the market, right? Think about the even number. Think about where this was back in 2021 when the market collapsed in between the 2 bull market moves. And this is all around that 30,000 level. If you ask me where Bitcoin is in 2 years, I'd go long right now and I'd hold, right? So that's not an issue. I'm a huge long-term bull fan of Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies in general. But the bottom line is that you haven't broken, right? So I'm someone who's like, show me the money, show me the levels, right? And the bottom line is if you look at this chart, we're right up against this level. So as much as my heart wants to say, okay, Bitcoin race higher, as long as my gut says, oh, I hope it does, the charts are the ultimate arbiter of what I do, right? And right now, we're still into resistance. So until we prove that we can break resistance, I can't turn bullish, right? It's all about probabilities. Probabilities are everything. And right now, we're still into resistance. Yeah, so basically, once we get above 30,000 and we close above 30,000, I'm waiting for a couple days to make sure that it stays there. And then my thesis says, okay, now the bottom has been proven that it is in on Bitcoin. All right, so I know that's what you want to get out of me. You want that so bad, and I'm willing to give it to you when the charts tell me that it's there. No, that you're absolutely right. And then that's exactly where Bitcoin found its support, right around that 15, 16, 17,000 range, right, when we dip down. So that's a great trend line. That's exactly how I would read it. That is support, and that's why you're getting the technical bounce that you're getting now, which has Bitcoin, like you said, up about 88% off of the lows. I do pay attention to it. Again, when it comes to trading in general, I don't focus too much on it, but it's interesting to watch, especially when we're going through a U.S. banking crisis and a European banking crisis. So it makes sense, right, that you have money from a banking sector where all of a sudden it reinforces why there's a need for cryptocurrency and specifically Bitcoin, that money is going to rotate into Bitcoin. And so it makes sense during a banking crisis that you're going to see Bitcoin dominance gain. Yeah, so right off the bat, you definitely have, so there's a resistance point right here, right? So that's look at where we currently are and look at where price is, right? It's right into resistance. So you're into resistance on the Bitcoin dominance chart right here. That's again that is a beautiful trend line. I actually haven't seen this one before, just saw it as I was pulling this up. But that to me tells me that we're consolidating just underneath it. It's still resistance. Can it break out? That's going to be the big question. But right now it's into resistance. You would say, okay, it's due for a pullback until it breaks. So this is important. This is an important chart because you had support right here. We bounced. We kind of went up just a little bit. And then look at now we're breaking that line. So assuming we close below here today and we confirm, then you got to think that you're having more downside on the Dixie, which would take us down to about your double bottom here at about 100.85 on the Dixie. So that this actually looks like it got the bounce. Now it's breaking to the downside on the chart, and you probably are headed lower on the Dixie.
3-month trade on the Dixie. Where do you see the Dixie in three months?
I do see it lower. In 3 months, I see it lower. Yeah. Yeah, so for years I've said that China wants to be the reserve currency of the world, and I think this is just one step in that direction. The biggest thing for me is that type of movement is going to take years to happen. So it is starting. You're absolutely right. It is starting 100%, but it's just going to take a while for it to actually gain traction. So this is, again, it's another reason to own gold. It's another reason to own Bitcoin on the long term. If you have that long-term outlook, then this is where you want to be. Absolutely. Well, listen, bottom line is this, it's just an alternative. It's one more way to protect yourself. So, I'm a big believer in diversification. I know you are too, right? You never put all your eggs in one basket. That's how we get in trouble. So again, you have some Bitcoin for the long term. You have a little gold for the long term. If you think about it, Bitcoin is still controllable by governments. And that's my biggest concern, right? So again, if I have my money in Coinbase and the government comes in and shuts down Coinbase and locks it down, how do I get my Bitcoin out, right? There are other ways, obviously, but with gold, if I have a physical piece of gold in my hand, I can go anywhere in the world with that gold and I can do what I got to do. So again, I think you have to just look at it and diversify across the board. Gold's chart has a short-term breakout. It's still headed for double top here. I think, again, you're going to see gold well above 2,100 by year end, maybe even 2,300. So for me, it's more of looking at the equity markets, and I think the next sell in Bitcoin will come from issues like economic recession in the U.S., where we see the stock market collapse substantially, right? And so you're going to see another 25% down in the S&P 500, let's say in the second half of 2023, and that will just panic people into selling. Unfortunately, you're going to get this bleed through into other risk assets where Bitcoin also sells off when that does happen. And again, remember, you have margin, right? So people that are invested in stocks, they're going to get margin calls. They're going to say, oh, well, I don't want to sell my stocks and take that loss, so let me sell a little Bitcoin and bring that money into the stock portfolio. I think, honestly, that's what we're going to see. We're going to see kind of a secondary. It's not going to be Bitcoin related. It's not like Bitcoin has an issue. It's going to be more of a panic in the overall equity markets that will bleed into crypto.
So what are your thoughts about Gareth Soloway's prediction? Tell us in the comments. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you soon with the next video. Thank you so much for watching.